Like, not to say that there's like a type,
Yeah, you want to pull that mug up again real quick?
the one the size of his
Yeah, the one
head.
the size of his head. What?
He says he's always had this. Yeah,
Oh my
I've only started
god.
seeing it the
That's
last
a.
couple
I've
weeks.
never seen that. How are we doing today, folks? My name is Raven, and welcome back to our Untitled Ranch show. This is episode 3 now, and I'm joined with, of course, Mangoose and Jelly. Today, I will be talking about matchmaking in ranked games. Yeah,
That's a good one.
we'll see how much I get into that.
I'm gonna be talking about assholes that want to surrender after like 1 minute into the game.
Oh fuck, that's me.
Oh man. And I want to talk about that when junglers just randomly push your lane for absolutely no reason in like the first 5 minutes of the game. Yeah, it drives me absolutely nuts.
Oh my god. All right,
That's a good
well,
one too.
so matchmaking. So the thing I have with this, it's a pretty big personal gripe, I'd say lately, more than before, but uh so I rank games that I play, not a lot of my friends play, at least Valorant and Rainbow Six Siege. Or the other thing is that they're not up to my skill level. So, at least in Valorant. Because Valorant I'm plat 3, and no one of my friends are near that, so I have to play solo queue. So when I do that, it's it's rolling the dice. As I've mentioned solo queue before in some of these episodes, but thing is, it's like you look at a game like Siege, and it's more like that. Yeah, sure, you could carry your team in any of those games, but e- even if you try your hardest and try to carry, it's like you have to rely on your team at some point. So when I go into Siege and I get up, do my placements and look, oh, I'm gold 2. Well, update, I'm now bronze 1 because every one of my teammates look like they've never played the game before, and I don't know why. Now, a big thing with that too, with those two games, is that you cannot. There's no restriction on team size, so I could be going against 5 stacks a lot, and I feel like
Right.
I do a lot. Whereas League, there's the ranked solo duo queue, which is good. I wish they implemented that in more games, but especially like Siege, a lot of people just 5 stack. So when I'm playing solo, you got all these like toxic people or just kids that don't know what's going on. They're like, "Oh, how did I die?" I'm like, "What, dude? Like, you're not in a good spot. You're just standing there." Like, so that stuff. And then like in Valorant, it's sort of the same thing. It's where it's like I try to work with my team, like communicate with them, and it's just so hard to do that when you almost try to focus on your own game more because in that you kind of can. You still need team effort though. It's a team game. It blows my mind sometimes. I just get caught in like bad matchmaking. That's what I feel like at least.
I think a lot like you were talking about like Siege and Valorant versus League of Legends. Like League of Legends can get away with that with their with having a solo duo queue and a team queue because they have so many players. Like other games, it's like matchmaking versus time. Like
Yeah.
if in other games, if you tried to do that, if you tried to split the community up into solo, duo, team, whatever kind of queue, it comes at the cost of increased queue times. So
It's
I
possible.
don't know. That's one thing you got to think about, I guess.
But like even with Valorant has it's been a year now with Valorant, and that game has gotten pretty popular, I'd say. So I would assume the player pool is very large. On the flip side, you have Siege that's been around for now. This is their 6th year, so it's
Mhm.
turning into like a League of Legends for 10 years. And I would say that player pool is fairly big too. But then I guess you kind of end up in the situation of like maybe I have a high MMR, well, not according to Siege now, but I have a high MMR, but like the matchmaking is different or weird. 'Cause then I hear people like complaining about skill based matchmaking in Call of Duty all the time. How no one
Yeah.
likes that apparently. I've never really noticed it to be honest, but I don't. I played that game for like a little while, at least the Modern Warfare, the newest one, but never really noticed anything crazy like that. Like people experience in like Warzone.
Absolutely. And I think unfortunately for developers, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Because if you implement really strict matchmaking, then it's hard to move ranks at all because you're consistently playing against people your level. Right. So yes, I can go up a little bit, but then I might get stomped by the next level. And so where does it put me? How does it actually place me in that matchmaking system over a long period of time?
Yeah.
But if there's no matchmaking, then it just is all over the place and you get matched. I mean, in League, I am a gold player, but I get matched against low bronze players all the time or with low bronze players all the time. That's a full 2 ranks below me
Right.
that I'm getting matched with, which is nowhere near the same kind of, I would say, skill level, right? And I can lose a game purely because the other 4 members of my team are 2 ranks below me, and the entire other team is at least silver. They do this like weird mathematical calculation of like it balances out because we've got 1 good player and 4 bad, and the
Yeah.
other team has 5 mediocres, and that's okay for their matchmaking system. Doesn't
I
make
know. I
any
hate
sense,
that.
but it's unfortunately like the one of the better systems despite still being bad.
Yeah, the thing they say too is like, perfect matchmaking is 50%, so you win half the time, you lose half the time. And then the point at which you can try to promote is you have to play better than your average or your
Mhm.
your median. So
Right.
when I do, most of the time I can't though because my teammates never do. And that's the part. I can't play 5 positions at once. And I'm like, I wish I could just have 5 of me. So I could just hear woo
People
woo woo.
people often talk about like silver elo hell and all that stuff, how it's
Mhm.
hard to climb out. It really is. Like if you take a look at it, and like you said, you can't control your team. And if you get in a string of just terrible teams or just people that don't know how to draft or whatever, it doesn't matter how skilled you are. You're not gonna you're not gonna go up. You're gonna stay in silver, and you're gonna keep getting matched with those people. So I think that is a real thing. I think you can climb out of it, but for the most part, yeah, you really can get just kind of stuck in a
Yep.
silver MMR.
And
That's yeah.
toward that end, even their like professional or really like top of the line League of Legends players that go through from the bottom and going up, and
Oh
they
yeah.
struggle the most getting out of those lower ranks because it comes down to 4 members of their team performing badly while they're trying to solo carry, and there's just only so much you can do in that scenario.
Yeah, it's just tough. It irks me sometimes because I do so well. I play well, and I'm just constantly disappointed because my team they just don't. But again, I can't do anything about it. I'm just gonna sit there and flame them. Like I'm not gonna do that. Because what am I gonna get out of that? Just get me more mad. Like
That doesn't
it
help
is what it
anybody
is.
either.
I'm playing solo queue, and I tweeted this out a while ago, but like I think it's impossible to level up or to rank up in a ranked game mode solo unless you're a god or you just get good teammates all the time. So
Mhm. Lucky
it's whatever.
matchmaking.
Yeah, that's my
Welcome to
thing.
Rome.
So, what do you got,
All
Mangoose?
right. As I said,
Oh yeah,
people that want to surrender way too soon, like I this is I didn't really
Summit,
you
Summit.
you all right?
Yeah,
You all
I'm
right?
good. I'm good.
It's not you? You
Yeah,
don't
I might feel
you're
some of
not
this.
getting killed 3 times before 1 minute and then hitting the surrender button as if everybody's doing poorly?
Oh no, I did that all the
God.
time in League. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't really experience it much. Did Paragon even have a surrender option? I don't even fucking remember.
No, they never did. I don't
I
think
know
they
when
ever
I went
did.
to
Did they
Smite
not
and
really?
people were trying to surrender like immediately, I'm like, what in the fuck is
Unless
going
they
on?
added
Why
it
is
right at the end. I don't remember it.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned it, I don't remember it either, but it kind of surprises me that they didn't. Huh,
yeah, it is a little
weird.
surprising.
Right?
I mean, people would just give up and they wouldn't surrender.
Yeah,
They would just hang out in the freaking fountain
I
and
think that's what it
whatever.
was most of the time. Yeah.
yeah,
They would just
weird.
AFK.
Never
They just
thought
be like,
about
because there
that.
was no penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there should I don't I think there should be a surrender option. There are definitely times where you're just getting beat so hard that you're not learning anything at all. I mean, I think I learned more from losing a game than winning a game, but there are
Mhm.
times where losing so hard you don't learn anything, and being able to surrender out of that, definitely a good option. But like back to Paragon, like if you had a Sevarog on your team, never you don't give up.
No.
You don't give up until
You have
like because
endless scaling. Why are you giving
Endless.
up?
Yeah,
Like,
endless
yeah.
scaling.
Yeah, there's always a chance to come back if you have a Sevarog on your team. But like, yeah, when I got into Smite and just people were like the mid laner would just get his shit kicked in and just die over and over and over again. But our solo laner's doing good, the duo lane's doing good, the jungle's doing good. But then this guy just keeps trying to surrender over and over and then flaming everybody else. Like, dude, this is a lost game. We suck. You got the jungler's not ganking, blah, blah, blah. And then they're trying to surrender. It's like, dude, just because you're not doing well doesn't mean that the rest of the team is doing poorly. Just set back, farm as much as you can. You're not gonna do shit this game. You're already underfarmed and your mid laner's overfarmed, the one that's been killing the shit out of you. You're not going to do anything this game. So just sit back and let the rest of the team handle it. You're not going to contribute. Kind of sucks for you that you got to play out this game that you're not going to have fun in. But there's 4 other fucking people that you queued with. They're doing perfectly fine. They're having a great time. Just let them have their good time and then win the game and go on to the next one.
Gotta bite the bullet
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah,
And I think I've seen a lot online talking about like playing in a solo queue environment. Learn how to get carried by your team. And I think it applies in this situation. If you feed 0-4, yeah, that sucks. And yeah, you messed up. Like there's no question about it, like in the first couple minutes. But play safe and let your team carry you to the win. Do as much as you can as safely as possible and let your team do the rest. If your whole team isn't like down 20 kills and 15,000 gold, you have a chance. Just hunker down, get over it, move, like just keep going.
Well, the worst part is
yeah,
in that situation, and then they keep running it down your lane, and then no one rotates to help you because you're so far behind that why would I go help you? Try to fend for yourself and not let us lose the game. But that irks me too.
I
yeah.
personally am of the mindset that there's really only 1% of games that you surrender in. They're so few and far between that it's such a stomp that you should just move on next game. Like it's
Totally
just not going
agreed.
to work. For instance, the opening weekend of Fault, I had a game that was 94 minutes long.
Oh my god.
That was
Oh.
my carry and my offlaner decided, oh, this game's trash, and just quit in 20 minutes in. So I had a Gideon mid, myself on Chimera jungle, and a Narbash support, and we came back to win that game 3v5 by playing
Jeez.
smart with minion by wave management, smart wards, like the whole 9 yards, taking smart fights under towers.
Yeah,
No, I would say that there's next to no game that's unwinnable. It's just how difficult it's going to be to get there.
It's so hard though because you have those teammates that just mentally clock out and
Oh,
they can't,
100%.
and then they don't
yeah.
even surrender either. So then you're just locked in, held hostage.
And
And
then
it's
there's
just,
certain heroes too. Like this is true in Fault and it was true in Paragon. If you're at 10 minutes and Countess has 10 kills, if she's getting a kill a minute, you're done. She's just gonna kill whoever the fuck she wants at will. She's gonna like that target dead. And like in that kind of situation, I don't know. Maybe it's time to surrender because everybody's just gonna keep getting deleted and more pissed off. But if
I
your
think it
support's any good, then they can pick up a stasis gem or a fucking silence or something.
I think that ties into what we were kind of talking about last week with the tryhards and sweaty people. Of if you're that countess going 10-0 where you can just delete everybody, just end the game. Don't
Yeah.
go around
yes.
chasing the map for kills. Just end the game.
That's the problem with Countess though. She can't end the game.
Well, to
Yeah.
be sure.
Well, I don't know about that wave
She
clear.
can kill
Get
the
your team
dog shit out of
together.
the enemy team, but she's not gonna end the game.
That's one
Yeah.
thing I
So
actually struggled with Paragon was like scaling. So how you were saying like, oh, if you just go 0-4, you like want to surrender. Well, because it was my first MOBA and I was playing EDC, I never really understood that. Oh, like I'm Revenant or I'm Twin Blast. I'm down so bad early that like I feel like it's over and we can't win. Because again, that game was so like team fight oriented anyway. It was just fight, fight, fight.
Yeah.
So when I would be so far behind, I'd be like, okay, well now I'm useless. I never really understood. Oh, if I could sit back, maybe I could farm up and get some more points for cards. But I don't even know if you really could have done that in that game. I tried to like at the end, like in some of the competitive games, but I couldn't grasp that. But now that I've played and much more experience with MOBAs, I understand it now. So
that concept is something I wish more MOBAs explained to players early on in a tutorial or when you buy a new character or play a character for the first time. Basically, with a pop up coming up and saying this champion or this hero
it's a
is
late
very
game.
good as late as
Yeah.
possible. Right? So you want to stay as safe as possible until that moment, and then they
Or like
jump
this guy
forward. Or
snowballs,
this
so
guy's really
do
good
well.
early. This guy's really good in the mid game. Like, and explain that a little bit more because I feel like that's a concept that so many players don't understand.
Right.
Or like even positioning, right? As a carry, you're weaker early and stronger late, almost across the board.
It's
Sure,
fair.
there's
Yeah.
some nuance there from carry to carry, but almost across the board, that's kind of the carry role is weaker early, stronger late.
Yep.
So explain that to your players as you're bringing them in because that's such a huge part of the game to understand. That's so easy to explain to somebody.
Yeah.
I never like the surrender though. I'll tell you that right now. It takes a lot for me to hit that button.
Oh,
Yep.
it's my favorite button to press. I had an emote for it. Actually, it's in my Discord. /FF. It's my thing. Oh, died 3
Terrible.
times. Oh, it's 10 minutes or 12 minutes, whatever it is in League.
That's it.
/FF.
/FF. That's it. Get
First
into
one
the
goes
game.
up.
I think that's all I had for my topic, unless you guys had anything else to say.
Oh, that's
Nope.
good.
So junglers. I'm a jungle main. I've been not playing jungle recently because I hate playing jungle with non-junglers who this jungler sucks all the time. But that's beside the point. What I'm noticing now is that other junglers will just show up in lanes and just push the lane for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
All they do is they walk in, they go, "Oh, free gold," and just push the lane, not considering that you set it up, you froze it, you whatever you want to call it, what kind of wave management you've done. They just completely trash that. And it drives me absolutely nuts.
Probably because they got nothing going on themselves. So they're like, oh, I want to do
Oh my
something. Let me
god.
hit something, or let me sap some XP.
It's like they look at it as a tax, as a gank tax. Like, I ganked your lane,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
chased them off. That means I get to take all this gold out of the lane. Like, no, dude, that's not how it works.
There's
Mid laners do it too. Like mid laners that come over to gank the duo lane, like they'll miss the gank, or maybe even they get the gank, then they drop a big ass AOE on the wave and clear it out, take all that
Yeah.
gold from ADC, and it's like, come on, dude.
as a jungler, I try to have this kind of philosophy going into taxing a lane, right? If I got somebody to blow an important spell, an ultimate summoner spell like a flash or something, or I made them back to lane because my gank happened, right? If I get them to spend something for me showing up, I take one or two minions depending on the weight of whatever they spent
Right.
or whatever they had to do. If I go to a lane and I get the kill, I don't take the minions at the same time because that's just adding its insult to injury. Just being like, "Oh, I got the kill and I'm going to take your gold. Thanks very much." Like,
Yeah.
no. But
Jungler
if
best.
yeah, if I gank and the laner gets the kill, then maybe I'll take three minions probably.
Yeah.
Right as they say, "You got the kill, you got a reward, I'm taking mine and let's get out of here." Or if, the other time is if you're trying to push down a tower, if you get the person to back or you kill the enemy laner and like this is your moment to take a tower, just push the wave. I get it. Push the wave under tower, get that tower down as quickly as possible. But otherwise, you shouldn't be pushing waves for no reason as a
Yeah.
jungler.
Don't just show up in lane and start hitting shit
Oh my
from
god.
I think about the only time I think that's probably the only two times it's acceptable for a jungler to be in lane early game is if you are trying to push an early tower or if you're like relieving somebody. Like if mid laner's getting their shit pushed in and the jungler's just going to help them out. Usually solo lane. Solo lane needs to go back, buy some items. Jungle can watch that lane for a minute or two if as long as you communicate that. Never expect your jungler to just fucking pamper your lane for you so you can go buy items, manage that shit yourself. But if they offer or if you ask and they agree, then yeah, that's fine, I think.
And they should help if they're going to cover your lane. Something I try to do as a jungler. They're going to cover your lane. Try to keep the lane in the same state it was when they left.
Right.
Because especially if you're not going to communicate it with each other, because most likely they left it in that way for a reason.
Yeah.
It was frozen outside their tower, or they pushed it up under the enemy tower so it resets back into the center. Like they did some wave management most likely before they backed, trying to circumvent that a little bit. Try and keep it in that same position. Don't just endlessly push the lane because you're covering their lane, so you deserve all the minions. Because
Yeah.
that's actually detrimental to your team more than it is helpful.
Right. It's a team effort. People don't get that.
Mhm. And wave management can put your laner out of position to die to put your team behind. Like it's that
Yeah.
easy. That's all it takes is you push the wave up. Now they're overextended and they can die for it.
Yeah, and if they're
It's
probably ahead, then it's just gonna be worth a pretty penny for them to come gank you.
exactly. Yeah, very very simple thing, but also I see junglers all over the place doing it.
Well, then
Just
it
showing
gives
up and like,
a
"Oh, I my presence allows me to take 5 of your 6 minions." No, no, it doesn't. I don't show up in your jungle. I know people do it, but I don't show up in your jungle and just like, "Oh, well, this camp's mine now." Like, you don't get to show up in my lane and do the
Yeah.
same thing.
well, then it kind of ruins it because like the other jungle is just gonna be like, oh, he's over there now. Now I can go do something in this lane. Know exactly where he is. Like, why is he still standing there?
That's
Just
The
hit
instinct.
minions.
that's the other thing you see. You'll see like somebody takes the jungle's camp, then the jungler goes and clears their lane just out of spite, and then they start bickering back and forth, and they're gonna be at each other's throat. You're like, oh, there's a fucking lost game.
My
Those two are
personal
going to be
rule
fighting.
Yeah.
They're going to stop in the middle of everything to type some fucking nasty sentence to each other, and then they're going to get killed. Dude, that cracks me up so bad when you see somebody get killed in the middle of fucking flaming somebody else. That is the best. Like, oh my
That's
god,
embarrassing, honestly.
my
Hasn't
that's
personal
happened to
rule
me,
great.
but
as a
that's
jungler
embarrassing.
oh, it is, 100%. My personal rule as a jungler is that if somebody wants a buff, right? If they want the blue buff or the red buff or something, just ask me for it, right? If I need it for some reason, if I have some like, no, I'm really mana hungry or I need the red buff for this reason, right? I will tell you. But if you ask me 9 times out of 10, I'm going to say, yeah, go ahead and take it. If you walk up and just start taking it without asking me, I will come up and smite that away from you so fast. You have no
Smite.
idea. Yeah. Oh, you wanted that? No. Like,
Nope.
thank you very much.
Nopers.
These camps are in my jungle, not yours. Thank you very much. Get out.
Go to your lane.
Yeah, absolutely. It's insane to me.
Yeah, that's.
Is that about all you had on that, Jelly?
I think that's all I had on that one.
Right on. All right, guys. So, yeah, if you guys have anything you want to say about any of the topics we discussed tonight, let us know in the comments below. This is, and like we said, we're going to keep rotating this. If you're watching it right now, it's on Raven's channel. Next week, it'll be on my channel. But yeah, just drop it in the comments below what you think of any of the topics we discussed. And at this portion of the show, we will discuss them. So that's what we're going to do right now. So I already pulled up comment. This is about what I was talking about last week, which was tryhards, and this is from Mystic Knight. He says, tryhard and sweaty are both pretty weird insults, but I do understand calling someone sweaty. If you're going so hard that you start working up a sweat, either you got something like a glandular problem and you are excused, or you are way too stressed out about a video game. So true. Yes, you should try hard and try your best to win games, but if a video game stresses you out so much that your pits are exploding in a room with a well-regulated temperature, either you need to take a break or pick a different hobby. That's why I use the term sweaty, because those kinds of people need to just chill a bit. 100%. That is hilarious.
Wild comment.
My favorite part, unless you have a glandular problem, then you're excused.
Hey, he doesn't want to.
I get sweaty hands a lot.
You've got something else,
Does that count?
I don't think I've ever gotten sweaty pits playing a video game.
Oh, I do.
No, I don't.
That,
think
but I
so.
really get my hands get disgusting. Like I'm that guy who sweats
Oh,
all over
really?
the controller and it passes it off, and they're like, "Please."
Oh, gross.
Yeah, dude, it happens all the time. It's gross. It
Oh.
gets gunk everywhere, and it's like, ugh. Unfortunate for my life, I guess.
That's great.
I got a comment I'd like to read.
Go for it.
Meow Mix for Men. Interesting name. But it was basically on the like toxicity and like talking in like a rank mode or something. I tend to disable all chat, voice, and text in games because of racism. I started doing that in Siege, and I've never looked back because my QOL in gaming increased. Quality of life. Thank you. Increased tenfold. To be fair, I agree with the statement. I actually had to do this for a while in Valorant. There was a point in time when I was playing ranked Valorant, and it was just, again, solo queue, but no, it was like the worst people playing the game. So, well, from at that point forward, I have always had all chat text off, so I don't know what the enemy team's saying. I don't care. I want to play my game. But I had to do a while where I had to just disable everyone because everyone was just so like, you just did one thing wrong and it was boom, flame, or like, you know, why aren't you playing this? Blah blah blah. Like, so yeah, that's a fair comment because it makes sense. Like, if you do it, it helps out a lot. You could just less stressed, but harder to communicate your team. I get it, but you know, in the long run, it's probably better.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Kind of if that stuff can regularly offend you or get to you and kind of make you play worse, turning it off is probably just your best bet. Yeah, you're losing some aspect of communication in there, but just being willing to go through and be like, nope, all of you are muted. That simple. Wham
Yeah.
bam. Sometimes it is that way. I loved that so many people. I'm not going to say they knew who I was talking about, but so many people called someone in particular out.
I think they knew who
for
you were
being-
talking about. Let's be honest here. Especially the person who knew who you were talking about.
They're like, I know who it is. Like, I loved that very much. But honestly, the one I loved was Fordster 1994. said that I get a sick satisfaction out of seeing the enemy team slowly picking up more and more wards. Yeah, it's gonna make them harder to gank, but it means I'm doing my job.
Yeah,
I
very
love
true.
that. When people are like, okay, we gotta buy wards because this guy, 100% worthwhile in that regard.
That ward is a badge of honor.
100%.
It is. It's respect. Sign of respect.
All right. Did you guys have anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah. Okay. Smite has team chat. Thanks, guys. Didn't know. Played it for like a month and then stopped again. So.
I think we need Evan to sing for us again as to close.
Yeah,
it
we
out.
do.
Oh, do I have a song today?
I don't know. Sing us out.
And you think I'm sexy, come on, sugar, let me know. I don't know if I'm gonna put that one up.
I was joking.
Yeah.
I think it's like Rod Stewart, but yeah. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys listening and commenting and stuff. No one else said anything, so I'll just close it. Okay.
Is that your outro?
That's my outro right now. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.